Illness refines you. It strips away the non-essential, revealing the core of who people are. My core, it turned out, was resilience. My husband's core was deceit. And his mistress's core was a matching tissue type. I was born with polycystic kidney disease. A ticking clock. For years it was managed. Then, 2 years ago, the clock's alarm sounded. My kidneys were failing. Dialysis became my part-time job, a grueling, life-sustaining thief of time and energy. The transplant list is a purgatory of hope and statistics. My husband, Julian, was tested immediately. He was a match. A perfect match. The doctors called it a miracle. A spousal match this strong is rare, they said. We cried with relief. He was my hero, my lifeline. Surgery was scheduled for 3 months out, time to get us both to peak condition. Julian became attentive. Obsessively so. He monitored my diet, my fluids, my medication. But his attention had a strange quality to it, not the tenderness of a lover, but the sharp focus of a project manager, ensuring a key deliverable. He started working out fanatically, to be strong for the surgery. He'd come home late, smelling of a gym I'd never seen, texting constantly. When I asked, he'd say it was donor support groups, people going through the same thing. I believed him. You believe the man who holds your life in his literal hands. 2 weeks before our surgery date, he came home ashen. He sat me down, took my hands, his own were icy. Renata, he said, his voice breaking with a performance worthy of an award. There's been a catastrophic complication. My latest scans. They found a shadow, a tumor, on my adrenal gland. They can't clear me for surgery. The donation, it's off, he sobbed. I held him. My world, which had been orbiting the fixed point of that surgery date, spun out into the black void of the waiting list again. But my grief was for him. Your health comes first, I whispered, dying inside. The treatment for his tumor required him to be away for stretches at a specialist clinic out of state. He'd come back looking tired but healthy. He said the tumor was benign but required monitoring. I devoted my waning energy to comforting him. The truth came from a wrong number text. A photo sent to Julian's iPad, which was synced to our home computer. I was paying bills when it popped up. A woman in a hospital bed, smiling weakly, holding a stuffed animal. The caption, *Day 3 post-op. I can feel it working. You saved my life. I will love you forever. The timestamp was from a day Julian was at his clinic. The background of the photo was unmistakable. It was the cardiac care wing of St. Augustine's, a hospital in our city, not out of state. My blood didn't run cold, it evaporated. A Google reverse image search of the woman's face led me to a GiveForward campaign. Help Camille beat CKD. Her selfless friend is donating a kidney. The campaign page lauded the anonymous donor's incredible generosity. The date of the successful surgery was the very week Julian had told me his tumor was discovered. The math was obscene. He hadn't gotten sick. He'd given my kidney, the one that was meant to save my life, to her. To Camille. His assistant. The sweet, quiet girl who'd brought me soup when I first got sick. The rage was a silent, supernova event inside me. It burned away every last vestige of love, of pity, of humanity I felt for him. This wasn't infidelity. This was attempted murder by procrastination. He had chosen to let me die on a list so he could play God and gallant lover to her. I did not confront him. I began the most important project of my life. I hired a forensic accountant and a private investigator. I discovered he'd taken a second mortgage on our investment property to pay her medical bills. The campaign was a cover. I discovered secret joint accounts. I found their emails, planning the surgery, him writing, "This is the ultimate proof of my love. A piece of me, inside you, forever." I took this dossier to the best, most ruthless medical ethicist and litigation attorney in the state. Not for a divorce. For a lawsuit. We sued Julian and Camille for intentional infliction of emotional distress, fraud, and medical coercion. The lawsuit was filed in civil court, but we made sure a copy landed on the desk of the hospital's ethics board and the state medical licensing authority, questioning how a donor could so blatantly lie about his recipient and intentions. The scandal was nuclear. The hospital faced immense pressure. Julian's story unraveled under oath. He had to admit he lied about the tumor. He had to admit he'd diverted the donation. Camille, under deposition, broke down and admitted she knew he was married, knew his wife was ill, but believed him when he said I was too far gone to be saved by it anyway. Their great love story was exposed as a gothic horror. The civil suit was a slaughter. The jury awarded me damages that stripped Julian of everything: the house, the investments. His future earnings were garnished, but money wasn't the point. The legal finding of fraud in a medical donation was the key. It created a precedent. Here is the heart of my revenge. Because of the fraud ruling and the hospital's desire to avoid a massive lawsuit, they fast-tracked me. Not just on the list. They instituted a rare, emergency-directed donation chain protocol. A healthy donor who was a match for someone else was found, who had a loved one who was a match for me. My lawsuit, my exposure of their lie, created a domino effect that got me a kidney. I received my transplant 6 months after suing my husband. The organ that saved my life is stamped with the legal case number of my suit against him. Julian now lives with Camille in a rented apartment. His body bears the scar of a sacrifice that brought him no honor, only ruin. Her body carries the organ that was my death sentence, a constant, ticking reminder of their sin. They are bound together by guilt, by debt, and by the piece of him that should have been mine. I look at the scar on my abdomen, the line that marks where my new life began. It is a direct result of his betrayal. He gave his kidney to her to prove his love. In doing so, he legally obligated the universe to give one to me. His act of ultimate devotion to her became the bureaucratic catalyst for my survival. He didn't just lose me. He lost his wealth, his reputation, and the moral high ground of his sacrifice. He is a cautionary tale in medical ethics seminars. I am a survivor, alive because of the very chain of events his deceit set in motion. He wanted to be her hero. Instead, he became the villain in a story that ended with me walking away, healthy, with everything he owned, and a lifetime ahead of me. The ultimate irony? His kidney may be inside her, but my survival is the only legacy of their great love that anyone will ever remember. He saved her life, and in doing so, he was forced to save mine. Now, we both live, but only one of us gets to live free.